a several $1,000 mistake in the end. $1,500 USD, probably the best money that I've ever spent. Cracks on it, it's falling apart, $2,500. I'm excited to make this video, but I'm also not, because it's just gonna be 10 minutes of me exposing myself, pretty much. In our 20s, it's the first time we have maybe a little bit of disposable income. Finally, money that is ours to spend. And with that money comes responsibility, which most of us don't have at the beginning. At least I did not. We've got thousands of dollars of mistakes to go over in this video that I have made, but alongside those, I'm also gonna share some of the best purchases / investments that I have made in my 20s so far. The first dumb purchase was brick wallpaper. And you may say, wow, that is a boring purchase. But no, this was actually a several $1,000 mistake in the end. That's why it's on here. My last apartment had ugly paint, ugly walls. It was yellow and dark. And so instead of painting the walls, because what the heck, that's a lot of work, I was like, we might as well just put up a little bit of wallpaper on one wall. And it looked great and it helped for my videos for a while, but the problem came when I had to move out. I assume you know where this is going. And when I was taking it off, it also started ripping off the paint from the wall. Not only the paint, but also all the drywall. Long story short, afterwards it looked like this, and it cost $2,500 for a contractor to come and return everything to what it looked like before. I will be trying to get money for that, so yeah. But if anything legal happens, I may have to delete this part of the video, so thank you for watching it now. You live and learn. I mean, that's what this video is about. So when's the next YouTuber boxing match? Because it's gonna be adamjbell versus the CEO of Wall Pops. And that is not a threat for legal reasons. My first best, does that make sense? First best? First good. Now my first best purchase was my $1,200 truck. And usually trucks or vehicles in general are one of the worst investments or use of money that you can make, because they average around $8,000 a year in expenses. I even ripped off the exhaust pipe when it broke in half one time. But honestly, the memories that me and my friends made, like with that car, with that vehicle, were just priceless. And I think it was part of having to do with how the car was $1,200. If I was driving somewhere, I wasn't caring about keeping it safe. I was just having fun. Driving through the trees, I don't care if it scratches. There's already 1,000 scratches. It's like when people buy designer handbags or just cars, really nice cars. Like sometimes, I don't buy designer handbags, by the way. I just mean like, sometimes you're scared to use that thing or wear that thing because it's gonna wear it down or might get damaged. I'll probably get a nicer car going forward, like the next one that I get, but there's just something about having just like a crappy car in your 20s, you know? The second worst purchase that I have is probably the most embarrassing one as well, and that is because it was an online course. Not just any online course, but a dropshipping course. But not just any dropshipping course, a $1,500 USD dropshipping course. I will say that this was like a few years ago, like 3 years ago, back when not everyone and their mom was trying to sell like a dropshipping course. But the reason it wasn't worth it is because I was just prioritizing like making money. So I was working my way through the course and all that stuff, and I realized like it sucked. Like it sucked. There was no enjoyment in it. This was kind of the start of my like entrepreneurship like journey. I still get robot calls from this guy. I'm not gonna say his name, but he's like, hey, it's John Johnson, for example. And he still calls me to this day, once in a while, with different numbers. I block them every time. He still calls me. He's like, hey,
where you haven't been online in a while.
I don't wanna be online, John. But at least I split the whole thing with a friend, so it was actually only $750 USD, which is this in Canadian. There are much better ways to learn online that are nowhere near as expensive, like Skillshare, the sponsor of this video. Hey, that was a pretty good integration, right? Skillshare offers thousands of online courses for creative and curious people like myself and maybe you. When I first started this YouTube channel, I did not have disposable income, which is the theme of this video. I had barely any money to spend on gear. I actually took this course, Video on a Budget, a long time ago by Christopher Rhodes, or YC Imaging if you follow him on YouTube. I didn't know anyone who knew stuff about cameras. You know, I didn't have anyone I could ask. And Skillshare is affordable, and I honestly owe most of what I know about cameras and all this stuff. Look, this is my microphone. Did you know that was there? Learn that from Skillshare. Not just Skillshare, but also the creators on Skillshare, because you can learn a lot on there. They've got courses on becoming a creator, courses on camera gear, and even courses on financial literacy, so you don't make the mistakes that I did in this video. Whether you're a hobbyist or professional, Skillshare has a variety of classes for every skill level. Right now, the first 1,000 people to use my link below this video to join Skillshare get an entire month free on the platform. So start exploring your creativity. So the second best purchase I've made in my 20s so far was a health related one, a personal related one actually, and that was $400 in Accutane. And if you don't know what Accutane is, it's a medication that help you deal with acne. There was a good 6 months where I had 10 or 15 red dots on my face all the time. I'm not saying like my skin is perfect or anything, because it's not, but I just feel so much better after going to the doctor and getting a prescription for it and spending $400 on it. I would do it again. Disclaimer for non-Canadians, by the way. In Canada, healthcare is free. I went and saw the doctor for free, but when you actually have to get medication for yourself, then you have to pay for it. So the third worst purchase I've got is the gimbal. And it's not because it's a bad product, it's because I'm a bad purchaser. I pretty much used this thing like 5 times over the last 2 or 3 years after buying it for like $550. So pretty much I thought I needed all the gear, the best gear right away, but only over time I realized, you know, the best part of a video is the actual value and the story, because without those, no one cares how damn stable your camera is. But it took me $550 and a lack of use of it to actually realize that. Also, it's this massive robotic arm thing. You have to carry it in like a little briefcase. You got to set it up. It takes like 5 minutes to set up wherever you go. And pretty much the iPhone stabilization, believe it or not, is almost as good. Like, it is very good. I'll put a side by side on the screen right now of one clip with my iPhone walking and one with the gimbal with this camera, the DSLR, and you can take a look for yourself. The third best purchase that I've made is one of the things that made me realize that that gimbal was actually a bad purchase, and that is my iPhone 12. I was not done my phone plan previously, so I spent $350 to move from my iPhone 10, but it has definitely paid for itself already. I use that phone just as much as I use this DSLR camera to make videos, and the wide angle camera is so good. Like, it's insane. I'll give you an example. The phone fits in my pocket, and this thing I need a backpack wherever I go. So the fourth dumb purchase that I made was the only clothing item on this whole list, and that was some Jordans that I bought. I bought these baby blue Jordans at the Foot Locker because I thought they were sick one day, and I was hanging out with, honestly, this girl that I met for the first time, and I was like, yeah, I am pretty cool, and I'm also a baller. Watch me buy these shoes. That's not what I said, but that's like, I think what I was thinking. I used to be more materialistic, and I thought that that was probably pretty cool when I did it, and I dropped like $250 on these white and baby blue Jordans. I still like what they look like. I don't have them anymore, but the thing was that when I walked out of the store, I decided to wear them, which means when you walk out of the store wearing them, you cannot return them. And literally the next day, or like that week, I was like, I don't want to wear these. I like them too much, pretty much, to wear them. I kind of mentioned this before in the video, like when you buy something that's really nice or easy to ruin, you might not even use it at all. This made me think of something Allison said on her YouTube channel the other day, and that was the idea of having a fantasy self. And it's the idea that you have of yourself in the future, and we really reflect that with what we purchase. For example, I bought these shoes because I was like, yeah man, I'm gonna have more money in the future, I won't have to worry about this, and I would look so cool if I bought like a matching, you know, blue shirt or something like that. And I had this idea of myself, even though that wasn't me, like right then. And I bought it when I didn't need it right then. And sometimes we make purchases thinking of our fantasy self, which is not even us right now. I did end up selling them later for like near $100, so I only lost $150 in the end, but that is still like just $150 just gone. The next best purchase that I wanted to share was something that I bought, I think, okay, this one's technically not in my 20s. I think I bought it almost 10 years ago, 9 years ago or so. And I know this is best purchases in my 20s, but I had to share this one because it is a tech product. How often do you hear tech products lasting 10 years? And I'm gonna grab it right now. It is this Bose speaker. This speaker I bought, like I said, 9 years ago for $150. It has cracks on it. It's falling apart, I'm not gonna lie, but it works perfectly fine.
Connected to Aj's iPhone.
It says Aj's iPhone because my phone is AJ.
Aj's iPhone disconnected.
Because my phone is called AJ's iPhone. This battery life is better than iPhones nowadays. Probably the best money that I've ever spent, which is kind of weird to say, but I think it's true. Take what you will from this video, even if it is a laugh or two at my purchases and my spending, but I'm curious to know what the best or worst purchase you have made is. So think about that, leave it in the comment below, because I want to pin the best one that I think is like the funniest, or just the best, or worst. Other than that, remember you can get a month free of Skillshare below, and I will see you guys next week.